Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our co-main event. This bout is in the welterweight division and is for the welterweight championship, brought to you by the Electric Cowboy. First, please welcome to the cage, Greg Hopkins.
And here is the undefeated Greg Hopkins, fighting out of Ringo, Georgia. He has had a great career thus far, 3-0. And he's coming off a big second-round submission win over Jordan Dodd. He's got a win in both July and August, and would like to continue the trend here tonight in September. And Greg Hopkins looking to leave here tonight. Cage fights of the Cowboy with some gold, joined by Tim Loy, who's got a pretty big part in some of these shows.
Somewhat. I act like I do.
Greg Hopkins, Paco, Merris. Greg Hopkins, a guy who's been around for a little bit, only 3 fights. He's had a couple injuries, a couple guys fall through, a couple fights fall through. But tonight, a chance to fight for a title, but against a guy with much more experience than he has.
Yeah, man, this is an interesting one. This is kind of my pick for fight of the night, and I think that Greg Hopkins is a guy that is going to be, I talked about this on the Valor Hour. Hopkins is a pedigreed wrestler. He's a guy that is known to have a wrestling background, wrestling at Ringgold, very accomplished wrestler. But in his past few fights, he's struck, and he's done pretty well striking. Paco, on the other hand, known to be a kung fu guy, striker, but he's also adept on the ground. So it's two guys that are kind of specialists, but not really deficient anywhere.
For Greg Hopkins, you wonder if the pressure of Merris wanting to throw some crazy strikes, mix in his kicks, may lead to Hopkins getting back to his wrestling game here tonight.
Yeah, man, Greg Hopkins again coming off of he came back, in July off a 7-year layoff, but, he's come back and he's been active now with 3 fights in 5 or 6 weeks. Let's go to Jennifer now.
And his opponent making his way to the cage, please welcome Paco Merris.
And Paco Merris makes his way to the cage here tonight. 8 wins, 6 losses. By far the most experienced guy we're going to have on the card tonight. A guy who's had many fights in the regional circuit in Virginia. He's only had 2 fights since 2015. His last loss in November of 2015 to Kenneth Portner. And now joined by Jonathan Pierce and Paco Merris, a guy I'm sure you trained with as well, coming off a win against Billy Combs in his last fight back in August.
Yeah, I met Paco out there at Arena Combat, and he did good on that. We actually almost got matched up on that card together.
And Paco, a guy who's done a lot of things, fought on a lot of different shows, has been around a little bit longer than some of the guys here tonight. And a chance to leave here tonight with some gold and take it back to the hometown gym against Greg Hopkins. And Paco Merris has trained some in Virginia, now with Team Oxendine, Casey Oxendine, and here in Johnson City. A guy who likes to mix up his strikes. He's got some good kicks. He likes to throw some spin kicks, likes to mix it up, catch you off guard. And Greg Hopkins, more of a power striker with that wrestling game. As you heard Tim Lloyd talk about it, Paco Merris, no slouch on the ground either. As Paco Merris gets ready to step inside the cage here, bar battles, cage fights at the Cowboy, live from Johnson City, Tennessee. Still to come after this, your main event between Jordan Ownby and Lance Abbott. But right now, your welterweight title co-main event fight, Greg Hopkins and Paco Merris. Hopkins 3-0, Paco Merris 8-6. We send it to Jennifer Oxendine for your fighter introductions.
This bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the Intimate Treasures red corner, he weighed in at 171 pounds, holds an undefeated record of 3 wins with 0 losses, and fights out of Mag Gym in Ringgold, Georgia, Greg Hopkins. And his opponent across the cage to my right, fighting out of the TSI Diesel blue corner, he weighed in at 170 pounds, holds a record of 8 wins with 6 losses, and fights out of Team Oxendine in Johnson City, Tennessee, Paco Merris. Your referee when the action begins is Jason King.
Jason King referees our title fight here tonight, Greg Hopkins and Paco Merris. Merris is a veteran. As JP said, very respectful, is going to touch gloves, but after that, expect chaos from Merris. Hopkins Merris, 170-pound title fight underway. Bar battles, cage fights at the Cowboy, your co-main event of the evening. Hopkins in the blue.
There's Paco
the
with his unpredictability.
And we'll see if that catches Hopkins off guard. He tries to
Oh,
shoot.
there's a head kick.
Shot
He
into a
rocked
head
him.
kick.
He rocked him.
And the takedown here.
There's a takedown. He's looking for the armbar.
And Merris going to quickly get his guard here and look for a submission from the bottom. From the bottom, he landed a hard head kick as Hopkins thought about a takedown. Nice shot there on top.
And he's up.
From Hopkins.
And he's up.
Merris back to his feet. Oh, he got rocked. He got knocked out. That's it. Greg
That was a quick
Hopkins.
one right there.
Unbelievable. I didn't even see it. How quick of a shot was that for the powerful Greg Hopkins?
That was a fast one right there.
Unbelievable. Right
either
back.
fighter had that one right there. He hit him with a head kick.
And it was that clean uppercut right through the middle. He was throwing hooks, throwing overhands, and the guard was there, but one
right
snuck
there.
through. And that dropped Paco Merris. What a finish, what a win for Greg Hopkins.
You know, I've been finished quick like that. You know, it just happens sometimes. You know, it's just a fight.
And early in the fights, too, you're really not settled in. You're still kind of tense. You know, no
Yeah,
matter
you're
how many
still
fights you've
feeling
had,
it
you're
out.
still kind of tough in there. And especially after a crazy scramble like that. Beautiful finish, though, for Hopkins. He's going to move to 4-0, and he's taking some hardware home to Georgia with him here tonight. For Paco Merris, he looked great. He landed that head kick. It looked like Hopkins was in trouble. How the tables can turn, though, that's the thing here in this sport. Merris now back to his feet, looks in good condition, and that's the thing about the sport. Sometimes all it takes is one clean shot. And that's all she wrote. Although it didn't last long, a lot of fun action there between Greg Hopkins and Paco Merris. And Greg Hopkins leaving the Electric Cowboy tonight as your new Bar Battles welterweight champion. We send it back to the cage, your official introduction, or your official fighter conclusion here with Jennifer Oxendine.
Your referee stops this fight at 38 seconds into round one for your winner by way of knockout out of the Intimate Treasures red corner and your new welterweight champion, Greg Hopkins.
So Greg Hopkins with the big win here tonight. He'll get the medal, he'll get the title. Very good fight. And it felt much longer than 30 seconds with how much action we've seen in that little amount of time.
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot of fireworks.
And for Paco Merris, I'm sure he understands the game. He came out quick. And we'll keep things in the cage as Tim Loy will talk to our new champion, Greg Hopkins.
All right, we are with our winner, Greg Hopkins, winner by knockout. 3 wins now, and man, I would venture to say 7-8 weeks. After 7 years off, he comes back and gets 3 wins in about 7 weeks, including the title here tonight. Talk about the fight. You know, you're a pedigreed wrestler. You've been showing off your hands here as of late, though. Get the knockout tonight. Talk about it.
I knew going into the fight that Paco had some freaky striking, and he showed it off the rip by staggering me on the beginning. Wasn't expecting it. That was a hard shot, and that's what really woke me up. I was like, all right, time to take a step back. Let's see what he got here. Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody that's helped me along the way. Vicky, my dad. Girlfriend's been washing all my clothes all the time, taking me where I need to get, everything. I've got a couple of sponsors. We'll talk about them later. Just that fight was a good fight, and it was a freaky matchup. It was an unorthodox yin-yang match like you said it was going to be. I'm just glad it turned out the way it did.
Well, we're coming to your hometown here not too long from now. Chattanooga, October 21st. You've made 155. This one was at 170. 55 is more where you feel comfortable at. Probably no damage tonight. We look forward to seeing you here next month in Chattanooga.
I will be there October 21st. I will be there, and I will make weight. Let's do it.
Let's give it up for your new Bar Battles champion right here, Greg Hopkins.
And Greg Hopkins, a crazy 30-second fight, a lot of action in about 30 seconds. Greg Hopkins, though, leaving Johnson City tonight and heading back to the Georgia Chattanooga area with the new welterweight title and likely in action here not too long from now in his home territory of Chattanooga.